Hello all, welcome back to Learning Partner. If you are new, please do subscribe. This is another channel where you can directly connect with me. We have around 1000+ members already who are working. We take live coding sessions and everything. To just get notified about those sessions, please do join this group and check out this website also where you can find so many project ideas with live version, proper flow, diagram and APIs and documentation and all. Now let's start with the video. So in this video, we are going to see how we implement the server-side filtering. Now, when we talk about server-side filtering, basically, whenever we have to show the data into the table or into the card, what we do normally, we call the get API and that data we show it into the table. But sometimes when the data is more than 500 or 1000, we cannot call the whole data in one API and we cannot show that, correct? So we need to provide a functionality where user can search, filter, sort, correct? And pagination, he can just on the first go, we will just load 10 record, then user go to the next page, then he will say the next 10 record like that. So particularly how we implement the server side filter, pagination and the sorting, these things we are going to see. Now the basic UI, HTML UI only I have created. So you can see this is the basic UI I have created. And API which we are going to use. Again, whenever we say server-side filtering, so obviously we need the API also like that. So you can use my API that is hosted under project.api.jirasim.in. And in this, you can use this product API. So if you see the product API, we have some search parameter, product ID, category, short name, page number, page size, sort by and sort order. So these are the fields we have. Now this same thing we are going to implement. Fine. So if you see, these are the basic UI I have created. Now we can write the code over here. So first thing, we need to write the API call. So if you see the API call, that is this get API call, we have the parameters. So this is a get API call. Normally post API can be post also or get also. If it is get, we need to send the parameter. If it is post, we will send this object in an object format, correct? So first I will write the basic API call. So here, let's say get products, round bracket, curly bracket, enter. Now, in this function, we are going to make the API call. So basically, these are the filters also we have, category, product, and the category, product name, and the product ID. So we can filter the records by three fields, category, product name, and the product ID. So what we will do, we will create just three variables. Either you can create object also or reactive form, but just to keep the thing simple, I am creating three variables. Let's say product ID, colon number, by default, null I will initialize. It will throw the error, right? Let's make it optional, also not working. Let's keep it like this. So number, then we have category name, string is equal to empty. Then we have product name. Now these are the things which we will bind to our form also. So by using ng model, we will bind it. Square bracket, round bracket, ng model. You can create an object and that you can bind, or you can create a reactive form also that you can also bind. How you get the data, it's on your own. Category name will go over here. And the product name. So we have binded our variable. Then on click of search, we are going to call a function. So instead of type submit, let's call it as a button. On click, sorry. From bracket click event on search. Let's create this function also. Now, just like we have created three search parameter, but if you see the API, we have page number, page size, sort by, and sort. Again, four parameters are there. So let's create variable for the same also. Page number, colon, number. Then we have page size. Again, it will be having a number only. Then we have sort by, means which particular field by which we need to sort. And ascending or descending sort order. Fine. So these are the various parameters which we are going to need. Now, in this function, we are going to make the API call. So how these are nothing but the parameter. Now let's say sometimes what I can do, I will just search with category, or I will just search with product name, or search. Sometimes I will just search with product ID also. Product ID also. So these are the various parameters which by which I'm going to search. So we will create parameters, params over here. So in this function, we have to create the params. So first we will create the params. So let params is equal to new HTTP params. Sorry, our new should be small one, new HTTP params. Then round bracket dot set. Now we have to set the parameter. What number of parameter we have? Here you can see our parameter name and the value, parameter name value. Likewise, we can do. So how many parameters we have? Just like that, we can do. So first we will do for the mandatory one, that is page number. So page number will be the parameter name and the value will be this variable. Let's copy paste. Let's pass it as a string to string. Page number, then page size. Sort by, we'll go over here, and sort order also. So these are the fixed parameter, which anyhow we are going to send. Now, some are optional, means if we have some value in the category, we will send the category. So if category, this dot category name is not equal to empty, means user has filled the category. Then we will add one more. So now params is equal to params dot set. Again, same thing. What is the parameter name for, let's say, product ID? So product ID, and we will pass this dot parent product ID dot toString. But let's pass the integer also. Let's try if it works or not. Just like that, again, if statement. Second one for the product name. Let's get the key or category. Sorry, category is done. Here we need the category. Then we have product ID. So here it will goes the product ID not equal to, let's say, the product ID, if not null or something. Then we have product name. So product name not equal to empty. Then we have to pass the short name. So product name has the query parameter as the short name. So that we will pass it over here. And here will goes the product ID. And here we have to category ID, category name. So here you can see we have created params. Inside this param, these are the mandatory one: page number, page size, sort by, and sort order. Then we have category name, product ID, and product name. If user has filtered something, then only we will add it to the parameters. Then we have to make the API call. So here this dot HTTP, sorry, we need to create an instance of our HTTP client service also. So private. Again, doesn't matter if you are doing this in Angular 15, 16, 17, or 18, code will be same. HTTP client. Sorry. Fine. Now here this dot HTTP dot get API call. Now we need to pass the URL. So let's get the URL first. Let's try to execute. So this is my URL up till over here. Then we need to pass the URL. So this will be my URL, static URL. Then we need to pass the object. So comma, then curly bracket. And here we need to pass the whole param object like this. So this will make our API call. So now by default, what we said, page number, we will initialize to, let's say 1 by default. Page size, let's say we just need the 5 record. And sort by something, first field, what it will be, Why it is saying internal error? Sort by, let's put it empty. Page number 1. Let's execute. Yeah. So what we can do, by product name, we will sort. So sort by product name. Fine. So let's try to search now. And this function, we will call it on the button click. So we have already done that. So let's see if API call is successful and we are getting the data or not. Inspect in the network tab. Now, if I click on the search, sorry, something is wrong. We have error. Okay, that name attribute. So I think we have this inside the form tag. Let's remove the form tag. Now, if I click on search, one API call should be there. Again, I think we have error. No, we don't have any error. Let's save once again. Now, if I click on search, why API call is not happening? Let's add a debugger. So on click of search, function is calling. Okay, sorry. So can anyone guess what we did wrong? Like we have just write the API call, but we didn't subscribe. So unless we subscribe, that observable won't trigger, correct? So we need to subscribe, round bracket result, colon any. Let's write a debugger also over here. Let's see, now API call will be there. Now if I click on search, so let's add a debugger over here at line number 38. Now if you see the params, we have got updates over here like this. Value, whatever the value we have passed. Continue. So now in the result, you are able to see only 5 record. Why 5? Because while passing the data in page number, page length, we have said only 5. Now if I pass 10 over here, let's try it again. Continue. So see, we have got 10 record. So what number of records you need? Like that page size you will send. So basic API call is done. And whatever the data we are getting, let's store that into a variable also. Product list. I'm not creating interface on anything, but you can, okay? So whatever the response we are getting, that we will store it over here, res. And this data we will display in the HTML also. So here, star ng for let product of our array name. So first we need to show the product ID. So product dot. Let's copy this. Let's paste it over here. Now what things we need? Let's just see the response. So product ID we can show. Then we have product name. Then we have short name also. Then we have category. Right? Category, short name. Again, so many fields are there. You can show that also. Let's just see if data is visible in the table. On click of search, continue, continue. So you can see data is visible, only 10 records. Now, step by step, we will do basic simple API call we have done with mandatory some parameters. Now we need to check the search also. Okay. Now, if I tried category name, let's say electronic. If I pass electronic and on click of search, so here, now you can see category is not empty. So it got this if block executed, correct? Now if we say in the params, we have got 5 parameter. Category also we have. Continue. So now here you can see in the table, we have just got the category data. Correct? Now if I remove this and again, if I search, so now we are getting all the data, whatever available. Let's show the price also. We have one extra column. Fine. And on the page load also, we can just trigger that same API call function. So let's implement the on init implement cycle, implements on init, ng on init, and in ng on init, we will call this function. So this dot on search function, we will call it over here. So on the page load also, we will get the basic data. Got it? So we are getting the data. Now, first thing. So for this pagination, we will do at the end. Now the page length. So page length, this is static, but this should be dynamic, right? So what we can do, where we can add the page length. Let's add over here after the search buttons. So go to here, I will create a select box, and here option will be there. Value, let's say I need the 5 record. Just like that, some options we will add. 5, then let's say 10, and let's say 50, then let's say 100. So same option, we will add it over here. Now, this dropdown we will bind with our variable ng model. We will bind it with the page size. But what we need to do, if we see, we have binded this variable with our dropdown. But what should actually happen? Now the dropdown is visible. Just see on the network tab. If I change it to 5, API call is not happening. Once I change the dropdown, I should again make the API call with the 5 keywords, 5 page length, right? So we can call the same function on change event. The same function we will call it over here. Let's save and check once again. So on the page load, we had the API call. That too with page size 10. Correct. Now if I say 5, again one API call is there with now page size 5. Got it? If I say 10 record, if I say 50 record, I will get the 50 record. Got it? So this is how we have done the page size modification. Then we have to see the sorting. Now, when it comes to sorting, where do we use the sorting? Obviously, we have the T head body over here, correct? So like that, we will implement the sorting. So for sorting, what we can do, let's say if I click on over here, this should be sorting. If I click on over here, this should be in the sorting mode. Whatever the column name I click, like that, it should filter. So on the table heading over here, let's right click event, and we will create a function like on sort, and it will have a parameter. So if I click on this over here, so I will be passing this field. Just like that, let's create everything. So here we just need to pass the particular field name with what we need to sort, category and the price. So let's create this function now. So here we are going to get the field name. Fine. Now in this function, what we can do, first we need to check the like what type of sort, and is it ascending or descending, like that. Fine. So we have the sort variable over here. By default, we have initialized sort name. So here we need to update. So this dot sort by is equal to whatever the field name we get. Fine. Then we need to check the sort order. On sort order, by default, we will add ASC, means ascending. So if this dot ASC, sorry, sort order is equal to, so here we will write the ternary operator. If it is ASC is equal to ASC, we will question mark, we will make it as DESC, otherwise ASC. Fine, because on the same TD we are going to, if we double click, it should do the vice versa. And again, we will call this function over here. So let's try to check if sorting is working or not. Let's create the 5 record only. Fine. Now, if I click on the product ID, let me just disable the debugger. No, something is wrong. What is wrong? No, something is wrong. So sort by. No, sort order we need over here. It's not sort by. That's why API got broke. Fine. So we have, let's say, 5 record. Now, if I click on product ID, so now in the payload, you can see sort order is descending. And with what we are going to sort? Product ID. Again, if I click on the same product ID column, in the second API call, so see ASC. So the minimum ID we can see over here. Just like that, if we click on the product name, so you can see W record we have got because it is in the payload we have got DSC descending. Again, if I click, you can see starting with A. So this is how we implement the sorting. Got it? So now the left part is the pagination. That is the little bit what we can say tricky. So basic filtering is done, page length is also done, sorting is also done. Now we just need to implement the pagination. So for pagination, this is the basic UI. Okay, so Bootstrap navbar I have used. There we have the what we can say basic code. Now to implement the pagination, what we first need is so if you see the UI, we have previous and the next button, and we have 1, 2. So this 1, 2 should be dynamic. Like we have to write a little bit logic, like what number of pages we need. Okay, based on the page size. Let's say page size is 5, so we will get so many page number. But if page size is 50, we will get less number. So that particular logic we have to write. So for that, to make this dynamic, so first we need to know how many total records are there. So for that, we need to make one more API call. So one more API call is there, which we will make, which get us the total product. So this API call. So this API call is responsible to get the number of total records we have. Around 50 records we have. So this API call we need to make. Let's make this API call first. Get total this dot http dot get. We need to pass the URL dot subscribe. And the total records we will store into a variable. Total records colon number. By default, I will initialize to 0. And whatever the record we will get, that we will store it over here. And this function also we need to call on the page load. Fine. So first thing we have done. Then we have to create a function which will calculate how many numbers how many page numbers we will need. So we call it as a get page numbers. Fine. Now here we have to write our function. So I will first using math.sale, we can write the logic. So constant total pages is equal to math dot sale. And here we need to pass our total number of products we have. So total records divided by how many in each page, how many records we need. So that is nothing but page size. Fine. Then we need to create an array. So I will return over here because this function we are directly going to call in the HTML. So I'm going to return. So array round bracket total pages dot fill method we will use start with 0 dot map x comma, let's say I, arrow function. It will ask us to provide the data type. Let me just first write. Wait, one more bracket is remaining, I think. And here I plus 1, round bracket complete. So it will create an array of how many records we have, 1, 2, 3 page, how many pages we are going to need. Now this function we need to call in directly HTML. So this function is supposed to return how many pages we are going to need. So this we will call it, instead of the static one, we will add star ng for is equal to let page of. This is a function. Fine. Now here we need to show the page number. So instead of this static one, we will add interpolation like this. Let's save and check if we are getting the proper number of pages. So if we have page size 10, you can see we have got around 6 records because we have around 50 something records. So we have got 6 pages. If I say 5, so you can see around 11 pages we have got. If I say 50, you can see only 2 pages we have got. So what number of page length you decide, like that page numbers are creating properly. So just see this function one more time, how we have created the pages. Fine. Now in the HTML, we have previous and the next. So how do we know like which current page is there? By using page number. So current page number. So we will need one more function on page change. So so on this create previous, click on page change. Now what we will do over here in this function, first we need to increment we are in the previous, so we need to decrement it -1 like this. And just like that, on the next button, we will make it +1. Okay, now let's write this function. So here we will actually write the function. So on page change, and for this function, we are passing the parameter also, the page number after increment number. Now this page number, whatever the page number we will get, that we will store into our page number. Got it? After that, we need to call our search function. So save. Let's save and check. So currently we have 10 records. So if let's check the network call also, or let's make it 5 so that we can see the screen also. So if I click on the page number 2, something breaking. Okay, sorry. On click of previous and the next only we have done it, right? So if I click on the next, you can see we have got the page number and where page number is 2. And we have got number of records also change. If I click on next, you see next 5 record, just like that. But we are not able to see like which page is currently selected. So for that, we just need to write little bit of logic. Just a dynamic class we can do. So here, this is a static one. So over here, we can write class dot active. So this class we are going to add, but when if this page equal to page number. Let's save and check if we are able to add that selection color. Yeah, so by default one is selected. If I click on next, see, so by simply adding that active class, we are able to show the current page selection. Fine. Now, if I am on the first page, let's just reload. I'm on the first page. So see the API call. If I click on the previous, I'm making the call with page number 0. So if I'm on the first page, I should disable this button. And if I'm on the last page, I should disable this button. So let's write a code for that. So over here, we can add on the li class dot disabled class I'm adding, which will remove the pointer if page number is equal to 1. Let's see. So if page number is 1, I should be able to disable it. See, I'm not able to click it. Just like that, next page also we need to disable. What will be the condition to disable it? Let me just copy this. So how do we know like this is the last page, right? Because this is dynamic, na? How do we know like we are in the last page? So we need to compare page number. Then we will need one more function that will get if it is the last or not. Let's create one more function, get value. And here, what we will do, we have to pass some parameter. This function, we will call it in the condition directly over here. And we will pass 2 parameters, total number of products. So total record, we will pass it over here, and page size. So where it is page size, or we can directly get it over there also, the page size. But let's pass it from over here. So we are calling this function, and for this function, we are calling total number of records we have and the current page size. Sorry, what number of page size I have selected. Now in this function, we need to write a little bit of logic that will be return. Obviously, we are going to return. So math dot sale total products slash page size. Okay, we don't need to pass because we already have that functions over variables over here. So we will just call a normal function. Let's see if this works or not. Now let's make it 5 or let's make it 10. Let's make it 10. Now if button is enabled, I'm able to ship. Now I am on the last. So here you can see if I'm clicking, nothing is happening. So we have disabled our last button also. Now one more thing is remaining. On click of page number also, we should be able to, what we say, change the page. So for that, in the HTML, this is our page, right? So on this anchor tag, click event, what we can write is on page change function. This function we will write, and we will pass current page number over here as a parameter. So that will set the this dot page with the whatever the value we have. So now if you see, we have got this many pages available. Now if I click on the 8th page, you can see page number 8 we have got, and the 8 number page data is visible. Okay, so this is how we have completed whole our pagination and everything. So we can do the page length also like that, right? Then we can searching also on click of search. We have got sorting also and the pagination also. So this is the basic example where we can implement pagination with server-side filtering, pagination, and sorting also. Again, it's not a basic code. In your industry application also, whenever you have to implement the pagination, similar kind of code you will be needing. In case of sorting, in case of sort, you will be adding some icons and extra things. UI might be something different, right? The same kind of thing we can implement by using any third-party library like AG Grid or PrimeAG Grid. But in some project, architect will decide like we should not go for any third-party library. We should write the custom code because we will have a control on it. Correct? So that's why you should be familiar like how do we actually write this server-side pagination kind of scenario. So this project is under my GitHub repository with this Angular logical topic repo. So you will be able to find the code over here. Fine. So thank you all. If you are liking my channels and video, please do like and subscribe.